All right, thanks for coming. Thanks to Brian and Sandra for coming out from Westminster, and gigantic thanks to Ferg for coming all the way down from Jersey.
Yeah, Ferg.
And he's even got the front seat. So this book is called Old Ghost. It's set in Butcher's Hill. The only things you really need to know are Cole is the main character. He came down from Boston after some bad shit went down, and he didn't tell his wife about any of it. And he's been followed down by his two old ghosts, so Chance and Delilah, his crazy old friends. And Chance is the one who stabbed him, which is why he came down to Baltimore. So they're sitting in a bar. It's actually a diner. That's actually the diner from the Greeks in season 2 of The Wire, if anyone saw that.
Yeah.
Well, I just ripped it off, but whatever. Full wood paneling clung to the walls of the diner. The masonite table is a variation on the theme Depression-era Oklahoma. And though I'd never set foot on the bare concrete floor, the hushed vertigo of memory swirled around me. The sunlight died somewhere between grease covering the windows and the cigarette smoke replacing oxygen. Time had stolen half of the letters on the menu board, but I gathered it didn't really matter anyway. Chance said coffee and extended 2 fingers. I resisted the urge to wipe the bench before I sat. He knitted his fingers together, like kneeling on a pew, like his sister did, and rested his wrists on the table's edge. The top lay empty but for a bowl of sugar cubes, and an ant crawled across the top. I listened to the breath roll in and out of my mouth, to the blood crashing inside my skull, and hoping that if I ignored the taste of rust filling my throat, that whatever fucked up thing inevitably about to happen might be avoided. I swallowed. Can anyone see my nipples? They're hard. It's so fucking cold in here. Cole, I need your help. I lit one of his cigarettes and felt my lungs grow heavy as if I'd swallowed all the air in the cafe. His lips rose in a smirk. I don't have much money, but I might be able to do a side job, I said. He pulled his head away from me. What? You know, to make some money so you can borrow it? Christ, I don't need money. He adjusted the lapel of his jacket, flicked away a piece of sawdust. Do I look like I need money from you? He held up his finger to be quiet. The waiter dropped 2 chipped porcelain cups on the table and set a pot of coffee next to them and said something to Chance. I couldn't understand the exchange, though if it was because it was mumbled or because it was Russian, I don't really know. Either way, my hand found its way to my hip for the phantom gun that I'd never carried but always felt like I should have. And how I ever thought that this was a smart idea was beyond me. Chance barked something at the waiter and he stepped away. The interior of the cafe tilted, sliding into the abyss. Or maybe it was just in my head. Do I really look like I need money? No more than usual. The cigarette made everything shimmer around the edges, but holding it between my fingers, staring across the table through slits of eyes and dictating the terms to which business would be conducted gave me equal parts the feeling of power and control and nausea. Cigarettes and acidic coffee, Chance. Old habits died hard, dragging you down with them. Why would you say that? He looked genuinely offended. Well, you said that you needed help, and I'm broke, and Amy's fully functioning uterus isn't the reason that we're childless at the moment, though I'll be fucked in the ear if you think that I'll let you be the surrogate for us, Cole, and the only other reason that you bring me to a diner that's obviously a cover is to make a proposition regarding dealing, aka the one thing about which I've explicitly told you numerous times to go fuck yourself. I sipped at my coffee. It'd been sitting on the burner for too long. I'm out, and I'm done, and I'm not going back. Is that clear enough? We need someone that we can trust. His expression was granite, like I was a mannequin that had just been discarded in this booth. The waiter wiped the main counter and staring at us from the top of his eyes. What the fuck did I just say? He moved his palms towards the tabletop, pushed down lower your voice through his teeth. Well, what the fuck, Chance? I mean, you and your sister exchanged notes on how to piss me off? You're like the Jedi mind tricks of assholes. We need someone that we could trust, and you were the first person that we thought of. How many times have calmed down, just give me the courtesy of fucking off and leaving, our voices, our threats, weaving together like some obscene heirloom tapestry passed from one generation of cannibals to the next. His fist on the table made the coffee splash out of our cups. Wiping the same spot on the counter, the waiter continued to stare at us. You, his eyes becoming webs of scarlet threads, straining to keep his voice under control. You fucking owe me, Cole. I owe you. I owe you. I bit back a laugh before it actually touched my lips. And shaking my head, I lifted the bottom of my shirt, showing him the wormhole where the knife had exited my stomach. I think we're square on that. He ran his fingers over his mustache. He has this awesome Raleigh Fingers mustache, if anyone knows Raleigh Fingers. He ran his fingers over his mustache and laid his hat on the table, smiling like a jeweler who had just heard the other gun click. No, son. That was for using my name. That was just business. This whole thing, this is all fallout. He snapped at the waiter and pointed towards one of the windows. The waiter didn't avert his eyes. Chance placed his thumbs together and raised the tattoos before my eyes. He's got, what did the tattoo say? Get your hands out of my face before I break them. But my voice came out as little more than a squeak. You ever seen these before? I sipped my coffee and shook my head. Do you know that in prison, a guitar string and a big pen are considered a tattoo machine? That in prison, fresh piss is considered safe to sterilize with. I just shrugged. Do you know how many stitches it takes to sew an adult male's asshole back to its regular size? 5 according to Ferg. Too fucking many. Again, we need someone we can trust. And don't ask Ferg how he knows that. He took a gulp of hot coffee and laid a hand on mine. We need family. Family. My stomach boiled, caustic bubbles creeping up my throat. Guttural exclamations mixed with the echo of boots as the waiter stomped to our table, waving his index finger at Chance like he was directing traffic. Chance regarded him with little more than a blink, but the waiter kept yelling. It sounded accusatory. Another man in the far corner watched the scene deteriorate and shaking his head. He scratched his face with something that looked like a steel claw. The waiter towered over Chance, who uttered a few phrases between sips of coffee. The waiter leaned down to our level, yelling in Chance's face and slamming the pot of coffee on the table, and I was shocked that it didn't break. Chance ground his teeth together, and he and Dyla always did that to calm themselves before, but it never really worked, and this too would end poorly. It happened before I saw it happen. The waiter thumped his hand on Chance's shoulder, a finger wagging in his face, and in one slow motion, Chance set down his coffee cup, wrapped his fingers around the pot of hot coffee, and shattered it against the waiter's